What is the difference between computer science and working in AI?
So, computer science would just be, broadly speaking, how your computer works.
Okay.
AI would be a subset of like programs or algorithms that specifically look at using the computer and making it mimic a human brain.
Oh,
Kind of.
okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Why why is it so difficult to get the computer to mimic the human brain?
So,
Besides the obvious of it not being a human.
so the biggest problem is like we don't actually know exactly how the human brain works.
Okay.
Like you can tell through like we know how the neuron works.
Mm-hmm.
We know how like the connections are made and like how like signals flow. That's something we've already copied. That's how our like neurons in AI works.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know what how one part of the brain specifically works to like make you walk. That's not, you can like see like electromagnetic signals that pop up when you walk, but there's no like specific mechanism that you can like mimic or imitate. So because of that, we have to try and cheat. We have to like try and figure out through a lot of trial and error what kind of works, and then build up on that, and then keep doing that until you eventually have a system that kind of works. Because again, like with AI, there's no guarantees.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no like
Of course.
this math is going to result in that. It's all like probabilistic. So you have to just hope for the best.
That's actually interesting because that was one of the first things that made me skeptical about
Yeah.
how so much AI just out of nowhere just started coming out the woodwork. Where literally every single company is now using AI. Like
Yeah.
there's companies that work with fridges that AI works inside the fridge, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, isn't all the code different? Wouldn't it have to be different from company to company unless it would to basically just be infringing on what the data that they already have?
Yeah.
So, is it accurate to say that we're actually creating such a development in AI in the first place, or is everyone actually just a whole new renaissance of AI?
Wait, so let me just explain kind of how an average AI model works.
Yes.
So you start with, you have like your neurons. It's like basically a hidden net of knobs and switches that when you pass an input through, it'll like have a configuration and then spit it out depending on the output you want. So let's take an example. Let's take like my hand. So now if like I show this AI my hand, it will look at my hand, it will do something with its knobs and stuff, and then it'll spit it out saying this is a foot. That's wrong.
Okay.
So then you like send back a signal saying that was wrong, this is a hand. And then the knobs rework themselves so that the next time you show a hand, say this is a hand. So now like the architecture itself, like the network, the knobs and stuff, those can be like distributed. But the data itself, that is something companies keep to themselves. So like
Okay.
Meta or what's the ChatGPT, OpenAI, they're never going to release their data. ChatGPT doesn't even release their model.
Oh,
But Meta
okay.
does. So like you can take Meta's model and you can train it with your own data and like modify it. But
okay.
like the one thing holding back a lot of AI models today is we don't have like a global repository of like the best models, like the companies that are at the top, like Claude for like LLMs and ChatGPT. They don't release their models, and if they did, then every other company everywhere would be able to kind of infringe on their IP and then like optimize their models. So yeah.
Hey, that is very interesting. It made me think about how I was reading this article about how companies were using, do you know the "I'm not a human" things when you get in the computer, and they were saying that they were using that as a way to like train their computer to see like what is real and what's not. And then it also got me thinking with Pokemon Go. So in Pokemon Go, they were using it as a way to like map out specific
way.
places that they didn't know, and that's how they're getting that data. You play the game, and they get the mapping out the road. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, the way data collection works, it's scary. This is really scary because every tech company you have an account in, they send your data to somebody, either to themselves or they sell it.
Oh, okay.
And all of that data is being used to train models. Like NVIDIA, if you use they have this thing called GeForce Experience, which is basically, it's like where you can game on the cloud.
Oh, okay. So you have more space?
Yeah, so you don't have to have like the beefiest machine to like
Yeah.
run games.
Okay,
You can just
yeah,
like
yeah.
stream it through the cloud. They take a lot of that data and then make models out of it.
Oh wow.
And they do like a lot of, I wouldn't call it sketchy because like it's in their terms and
It's
conditions.
legal. You
But,
you
like,
signed off on it.
Everybody post like OpenAI's ChatGPT, everybody started like harvesting data from people. Now it's like, it's just insane.
Oh wow. Do you think that's beneficial in the long run?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, again, let's say that same AI model we have, let's say I showed him my hand and it says this is a hand. Then I'm like, no, this is actually a foot. Then that model is now, it's confused, right?
Oh,
And
so
so-
anyone is able to give it information. That's the problem.
Yeah, so the issue is when you're processing that data to train it and you don't correctly classify it because you have like so much, they use AI to clean up the data they're going to feed another AI. So eventually you get into the cycle of AI, and now that there's so much like, there's so many bots and stuff that gets fed back in. So you have like this circle of AI feeding AI like crap. And yeah.
The reason why I was bringing that up. I was thinking about it while I was like scrolling through Reddit. This person posted. This person posted a lot of the information that this AI was consuming was from Reddit.
Yeah.
And not even to mention the fact that it was from Reddit, where the people there aren't really certified. You don't know who's putting in what. But it was also AI on this that was on the website in the first place. So I feel like it kind of calls back to one of the reasons why I don't like AI in the first place, because it's like I feel like it gets to a point where not only does it make humans dumber, but I feel like it's just constantly going to turn into, okay, let me get this thing to make what I wanted to make, and then let me give it to this other thing to make what I wanted to make off the thing that I didn't even make in the first place.
It's like the AI cycle. But there are technologies coming out now. Like a lot of people are trying to have watermarks. So anytime something comes out of an AI, it says somewhere this is AI. So it'd be like on the metadata of an image or something. It'll always be classified as AI.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad, but like it's something that like is self-policed. So it's not like everybody's gonna follow it. So like let's see how it works in the long run. But one of the issues with this thing is like if you looked at Gemini, Google's AI, so now if you like Google something, you'll get like the first response would be their bot telling you like what you want to hear.
Oh yeah.
It used to have some really crazy responses like to like really basic things. Like there was a question, I don't even remember, but like it was really funny where like you asked it for a recipe and it told you to kind of do something that's not the recipe, essentially. Because it got that from a Reddit comment.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you could see where like Google was just lazy. So that kind of thing can definitely happen.
Where do you think AI is going as a whole?
To be frank, I think AI, the next big thing you're going to see with AI is this term called AGI. Artificial General Intelligence.
Okay.
So right now we have a lot of models that can like do really specific things, like the vision models, language models. What we don't have is good models for like motion.
Okay.
But once that's in place, then you can basically tie up all these models and make like a supermodel, basically, which would be.
What are all the different parts of the models? I've
So,
got to break it down from the beginning.
This is because there's no real model yet, but like the way I would design one, I'd have like a vision system that can basically perceive things around it, and then a language model that can understand words.
Oh.
And on top of that, then on the lower level, you give it a bunch of functions that it can use. So for example, let's say you have that chair and you tell this AI model to like go to the chair. It'll use its vision stack to see the chair, and they'll use its language ability to think of how it would go to the chair. And then if you have functions that says walk forward and it knows how to walk, then it can just use those functions until it reaches the chair. The walking to the chair part, like the functions and stuff, that exists. Boston Dynamics, their robots can do that already.
Yeah.
What we want to do is have like the brain basically talk to the body. That doesn't exist today. If it does does in like the military,
Okay.
but not in a way where like it's the standard.
Oh, okay, okay. Jeez, is there? Okay,
It's a rabbit hole, you know.
that sounds like how you get iRobot. That's where
That is
seems
exactly
like
how you get iRobot.
it goes towards. Is there any individuals now that are working on something like that?
So one person who would like you to believe he is working on that is Elon Musk. That's not true, because if you looked at his, he had like this event not too long ago where he unveiled the cyber taxi and the his AI robots. They're remotely controlled by people. Yeah, like his taxi was driven by somebody. I don't know where, but like it was manually or remotely controlled by somebody. And the robots too. They like those movements are just they were remotely controlled. Like they came out saying it. But one company that has made progress towards this is OpenAI. They I don't know what their robot's called, but they unveiled a clip basically talking to the robot and asking it to pick up an apple. It picked up the apple on its own. Like it figured out where the apple was and it picked it up. Like it's a really basic thing, but the idea is
It has to be able to do something basic before it can scale up. So
the biggest like takeaway from that is like you're able to connect 2 or 3 different AI stacks and make them work together. That is something you couldn't do prior to that, which is something like that's impressive.